Right. So I am talking with Anne today. Anne, tell us a little bit about your writing experience, what you do, and also tell us about your new book. I want to hear about that too.
Sure, sure. I come from the PR space. I've been in public relations for a little over 20 years, doing PR for in Silicon Valley, and I have writing experience through sort of writing for my clients, writing like contributed articles, but it was never sort of like my own thing. It was never something that I did for myself or for my own portfolio, and it was always sort of like business oriented writing, right? It was never like op-eds, right? Um, and yeah, and my book is called Radical Señora Era, which is all about sort of harnessing ancestral Latin American traditions, habits, daily home and garden habits, to just sort of have a slightly more joyful and better life.
Yeah. And you also had or have still a makeup company, right?
Yeah, yes, I do. Vamigas, we're called Vamigas. We were in Target and at Nordstrom and Whole Foods. Now we're online only, and it's skincare created from botanicals from Latin America. So like Chilean rosehip from the Andes, and papaya. We have like our second favorite product is a lip mask with papaya and rosehip. So got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. And so, like that business and your book, they sort of kind of go together a little bit. And then you had found me originally, I think, on TikTok, right? I love that story. And so, what compelled you to sign up with me first? First, we did one-on-one coaching. Before you jumped into the Bragworthy Bylines Opinion Lab stuff. But what compelled you to sign up the first time?
Yeah, so I wanted to have the POV and the sort of training from someone from the other side, right? So like a journalist, a writer, right? Like an expert, world-class writer. Because, coming from the marketing side, it's just very sort of a different type of like vibe, like a different sort of
Mhm.
POV that you have to have. And so I just wanted like I think, and I know about media, I'm well versed in media, but again, it's like it's such a different world coming at it from the other side. So I just kind of wanted to immerse myself from an editor, reporter, writer's perspective.
And so, through working with me through both the one on one and then also through the opinion lab, which we just sort of are kind of finishing up soon here, what would you say? How would you describe that experience? How was it helpful? What do you feel like you accomplished through working together?
Yeah, so it's been incredibly, incredibly helpful. And I'll back up a little bit too. So through our original work, I was able to, I went from 0 to 100, right? I was able to sort of pick up like three different, sort of columns. So like consistent writing gigs at three different outlets. I got into a great relationship with my editors there, which was a totally different style of like relationships that I had, when I was in PR. Because like when you're in PR, people don't necessarily like you because you're always in their inbox.
Right, right.
So now I'm sort of in this new type of relationship with these editors, and they're like, "Oh, Anne, I just love getting those emails from them where they're like, Anne, do you have any ideas for the holidays? Send me three or four." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, cool." And that happened, that wouldn't have happened if I had not connected with you and your training, and that was from the original training. And this class in particular, I think, really helped me take it up a notch, in that it made my writing, it sort of taught me how to, how to write in a more formal, in like this sort of serious analytical way that op-eds and
Hmm.
like review type articles need. Um,
Hmm.
and also it gave me sort of like the structure. I loved having the structure, learning the structure of the op-ed from you. That was super, super useful because I really did not know anything about op-eds previously. And just knowing that template and knowing like, the sort of logic that goes into an article helped me so much.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it helped me really sort of, it helped me pick up one article. So I landed one article in the Wall Street Journal, that's going to go live next week, and a second one, hopefully, on USA Today. And that was only in a matter of,
Oh, really? You didn't tell me that one.
Yeah, well, so it's not 100%, but the editor wrote back my second pitch, and he wrote, "This is great, but I'd love to see the full article." So I'm
Mm,
full article, and I'm going to send it to him. So hopefully that's a second.
okay. What's that one about?
So comparing the Bad Bunny pushback
Oh
for
yeah, we kind of talked about that.
Sinatra. Yes, exactly. So like sort of the parallels of, Frank Sinatra and Bad Bunny.
So that's cool. I think that's a good example of like, your Wall Street Journal article is sort of more serious, more like you're focusing in that piece on, we didn't really talk it through, but you're focusing on how, well, I'll let you describe it. You describe that article and then we'll go to the next one.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, the my Wall Street Journal article.
Yes.
Yes. So that article, essentially, so what it's about is how Latin American family traditions, particularly from recent immigrants, could potentially help us help America's teenagers who are,
Yes.
in many ways, many of them are in trouble, right? The depression and anxiety and screen addiction and, suicide rates, all stuff that's going downhill. And in my article, I sort of argue that Latin American newly immigrated Latin American families bring these sort of habits and traditions that we could incorporate into our lives that actually were American maybe 50 to 75 years ago that we had previously,
Hmm.
right? So that's what my
Yeah.
article is about.
Yeah, so that's cool that we were able to like kind of work together to like sharpen the angle of the pitch so that we could, really know that when we sent that email to the editor that it was going to be like really selling it, like showing him why this matters right now. So that was
Exactly.
part of the work we did together. And then also just part of the program too is just me trying to find the email addresses and the names of the editors and just sort of handing those over to you, which is, I think, a nice perk, or at least it would be to me. And then
Yeah,
for USA Today, you're doing something that's totally different and a little bit more fun, a little lighter, but tapping into what's happening coming up at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny is going to be the headliner, and you came up with an idea based on that. And so I think it's fun to show how you can pitch something that's really serious and maybe close to your heart. Then you can also pitch something that's more pop culture, but the same sort of rules apply to how you might structure the pitch, how you would write the essay. It's just a matter of sort of the content in the middle, and sort of the sky's the limit. It's just, it's like your ideas, like whatever you come up with. And once you start doing it, you get better at it and you start to get a little bit quicker at sort of putting the angle together and knowing what you're like, okay, I can tell that this is going to get someone's attention. And part of that is just learning the process and like getting better at it and intuitively knowing what's going to work. So that's really awesome. What would you say to someone that's thinking about joining the next cohort? Maybe they're on the fence and they're wondering, is it worth it? What would you say to them?
it's 100% worth it. And I was on the same boat. I was like, it's like, do I make the investment? But it's 100% worth the investment because even, coming at it from like an ROI perspective, like I mean, even if your audience, even if, um, these folks aren't necessarily like looking to make extra money, it's gonna like 3 to 4x the amount of investment that you're gonna put in. But also what it's gonna do is it's gonna sort of put your mind in a completely new mindset. Like it's going to put you in a totally new mindset where you're going to know exactly how to pitch, how that pitch needs to look. You're going to have templates that you didn't have before, that you can just sort of use and reuse. And it's going to cut, and you're going to have the context too, forever, right? So it's going to cut back the amount of time that you need to land these articles to, I mean, just going to be automatic now. And also what's cool now is that you're going to sort of like, after your class, you're going to sort of go around thinking about new ideas, and you're going to feel
Mm-hmm.
like an author. You're going to feel like a writer because like, I'm like washing the dishes or something. I'm like, oh, this is a fun question. I wonder what it means. And then you're, oh, I should pitch that story. Oh, and I should
Yeah.
pitch it to whatever article. And that all came from taking your classes.
Yeah, I agree. It's really fun because you're like, it's not just a thought anymore. It's like, oh, I can actually do something with this. Like I'm going somewhere for something unrelated to my freelance writing in January, but I was like, hey, this event is happening. And like, I now have this contact at a place that I think would be interested. Okay, so while I'm there, I'm actually just going to pitch and see like if they want this story, and then it could be, maybe I get my travel covered even. So it's kind of cool to start thinking that way, and then I realized too that you have so much, like, it's very empowering, I think, because you know that you can get those words in front of like thousands of people. In the Wall Street Journal, I don't know how many people, lots more than thousands. And it's just really neat to know what a big difference you can make with your words. And also, like, if it's something less serious, just like you can actually get paid to write what's in your head, and like that's really cool too. So I think it's kind of crosses the spectrum. So anything else I didn't ask about that you would mention?
Yeah, well, actually, so the monetary aspect is really interesting because I went about this wanting to sort of expand my career and learn new skills and do something that I had never done before. But there is this sort of element, there is that benefit where you're like, oh, I'm actually making money. Like it opens up a new a new income stream, right? And
Yeah,
so it's
for
like
sure.
which is like it's a great benefit, right? Especially
Right.
these
I
days, right?
know it's interesting because some people are coming in really focused on making more money, but a lot of people are coming in too, just like they're like, I'm a writer and I want to be able to write for people. But like if you can accomplish that goal and make money, like that's a double win in my book. So I totally agree with you. I was going to ask you, you had mentioned earlier that you have writing consistently for some smaller publications. What are some of those, and what are the things you write about for them?
Yes, I'm writing for Latina media outlets, Remezcla, Me Too, and Hip Latina. So they're sort of niche outlets that focus that target Latina millennials.
Yeah, and that's also like whatever your niche is, like whoever you are and whatever industry you're in, there's always those smaller publications that are really great. Like it's like sort of, we try to tap into across the spectrum. So we try to tap into the smaller ones, which are not going to pay as much but are still going to be great experience and exposure, and then all the way up to the top to the Wall Street Journals and the magazines and all of that. So really cool the way that you can sort of like use it on all of the different levels